There are teams in the title race and then there are contenders. For me, Liverpool, City and Arsenal are in contention as they've looked more like winners out of the other 17 teams in the league, right? Spurs probably not seen as such due to the new manager, new players, new style, etc. Aston Villa looking like they're dropping off. United are still here and there and nowhere in between. So they're probably more like a contender, but not in an actual race. I mean, of course, let's remember that Spurs were second to Leicester when the Foxes won in their miracle season, and then United also finished second in one season. I think was it to Chelsea or Man City? I forget what it was under Ollie. So it's not to say that these things aren't possible. It's just recently they haven't really been that same team or those same teams. But for me, it's if you're looking likely like you're going to win the league or gunning for the league with serious intent, you're a contender. Meaning you're winning games, you're up the top of the table, it's topsy-turvy, it's this and that, but you're up there, right? Are you trying to stay as close as possible and to see what happens? Then you're in a race. So you're not actually serious about it, but there's potential there. Although more likely than not, you're not going to finish in that top position. Now I'll start with Liverpool, and I'm going to go in the order that they are in the league ladder. So Liverpool first at the moment on 54 points, City second on 52, Arsenal third on 52, and Spurs fourth on 47 points. And even though Spurs are a little bit more behind, still there is a gap that can be closed, right? But Liverpool, the most recent years, the last 14 years, let's say, from 2010-11 season, 6th, 8th, 7th, 2nd, the infamous this does not slip season, 6th, 8th when Klopp took over, 4th, 4th, 2nd, 1st, 3rd, 2nd, 5th, and currently 1st. And these two twos here were when we lost by a single fucking point against Man City, which is why I keep saying if it comes down to 1 point again, a lot of people, mainly Liverpool fans, maybe football purists in general, will be looking at that Tottenham result and the VAR farce that was the Luis Diaz offside goal, right? But you can see it there. Now, we have done this before. Me being a Liverpool fan, we have done this before. We still have pretty much the same spine of players, bar a couple of midfielders. I mean, Thiago wasn't there for that league. He came after. I was going to say Thiago because he's like the oldest midfielder in that squad at the moment because we got rid of everybody else. But we still have good players. Alisson, Van Dijk, Trent, you can say, Salah. Still, that's players that have done it before. Jones was there. Some of these other players would have crept through. So there is still something to be said about Liverpool knowing how it's done. The manager knows, the team knows how to get the job done more often than not. Salah still has to come back from his injury. We still have a few other players coming back as well, so it's not the worst thing. We're still in all four comps. We're in the League Cup final against Chelsea. The starting 11 is strong. Our bench players are decent and can rotate and contribute. As we've seen, Matip has been out for the season with his knee injuries, so Kwanzaa has come in, or Kanate has stepped in. Now, there are some brain farts every now and again where Kanate will get himself sent off. Then again, Van Dijk is also capable of that, albeit in very dodgy circumstances, if you ask me, against Newcastle, but hey, it is what it is, and some other players have been sent before, but we can rotate, we can bring in players to cover positions. Both our left backs were gone. Gomez filled in at left back. Our right back was gone. Connor Bradley filled in, and Connor Bradley will be back, and he'll most likely be in on the bench, and you can move Trent forward into the midfield in some instances and have him play on the right. Who knows? That's for Klopp to decide. But our bench is not that bad. As people maybe say our bench is weak, I don't think so. I think they probably believe that we don't have the same players or quality players, but I don't think it's that bad. Now, Klopp leaving is also seen as a motivator for the club to do something special this season, as people keep saying, and no one expected us to be where we are at the moment. We're currently in first. We may not stay there. I still think we won't win the league, but hey, as long as we're first and there or thereabouts, I have said just be there or thereabouts. You never know what can happen. Anything is possible. Again, this all depends on if we continue our vein of form, just keep winning our matches. And another team that is no stranger to winning matches in a row, Man City, who are currently in second place. And as you can see here, third, the Aguero season, second, first, second, fourth, third, first, second, first, currently second. So safe to say they've been dominating this league for, a good 8 years. If you really want to go back, you can probably say they've been doing it since 2011. So a long time they've been doing it. A long, long time. And they've done it before. They can sure as shit do it again. They're going for 4 in a row, defending with the Champions League, even though this is more about the Premier League. But they do have a money-stacked squad. Their bench is there. They've got the most stacked bench. When I say stacked, I mean quality players. And some City fans may say, no, we don't have the players we need. I mean, well, if you get rid of Gundogan and Mahrez last season, who were clutch off the bench, would get your goals that you need, big goals as well. You have Haaland scoring goals again. De Bruyne was out for 4 months. He's back again. He gets himself an assist or a goal guaranteed a game in some way. And he comes in off the bench. Grealish you can bring in off the bench. Foden is scoring your goals. Oscar Bobby's getting you goals. Like there's nothing really you can say about the City team where you can say, I don't know how they're going to get all these wins in a row, because they definitely can, and they've done it before. But by that logic, because they've done it before, well, Liverpool can as well. So we have a bit of a tussle between Liverpool and City, and who's going to be on the longer winning streak. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that right now. But they know how to win in the final third of the season, and a lot of their fans believe they're going to win because they've done it before, and they're just better than everybody else. They've got the players, they've got the manager, they've got the backing, they've got a very well-run club, and I say well-run because 115, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But at the moment, innocent until proven guilty, and you can just see their form speaks for itself. Like ever since Klopp took over, it's just like unbelievable stuff. I mean, never finished below 4th since 2011, and they have been the dominant force in this league. And the team chasing them as well after a very bad end to last season is Arsenal. Now, they want to make up for last season's collapse or bottle, if you will, however you want to go about it. A change of playing style and key players brought into key positions like Declan Rice, for one. The goalkeeper situation, a lot of people argue and say, well, was the goalkeeper needed? Did he have to bring in Raya to take over Ramsdale? A lot of people saw that as a negative. Some people saw it as a positive. Now they're starting to say, I can't understand why they brought Raya in, because ball player and Ramsdale is not trustworthy. But then that's money wasted in a sense. Well, you can say it's money wasted or an investment that didn't go to plan, right? But potentially learning from last season's shortcomings. They tried to sprint when really they should have been set for a marathon, and they've probably learned their ways. Now, some pundits and YouTubers have said Arsenal have a better chance of winning the season now because they know what to expect come the end of the season. Whereas last year, a lot of people were saying, well, they were 8 to 10 points clear. They only have themselves to blame for not winning the last remaining games that they needed to win in order to finish first. Yeah, make of that what you will. And of course, the fans are demanding that Arteta and co deliver a Premier League and at least progress in the Champions League, make, semi-finals at least, at a minimum, let's just say. And the fans are eager to see Arteta win something with his own squad and prove the haters wrong, because there are a lot of fans out there who want to see Arteta gone because he's not good enough. He should not be there. He's unproven. He's wasted money, the process and the project and all this other shit, right? And then you have others who are like, well, let him do his thing. He'll be a legend if he ends up winning a league, because, yes, he's only been in it for 4 years as a full-time manager, 4 or 5 years. But for a first gig, that's not bad. Now, if you want to look at a comparison, not to divert too much away from this, but Xabi Alonso at Bayer Leverkusen just thumped Bayern Munich to go 5 points clear at the top of the table. And he's in his, first year at a first, big league team in Leverkusen. They were, first proper year at least, I think. Last year took over, they were 17th. And now they're first at the moment. It happens. It happens. Maybe not so much in the Premier League, but it does happen. But Arsenal fans will say, you know what, we're up here, respect us. They want to be Roman Reigns, acknowledge us in a sense. And it's almost like a little bit too try hard, like you want people to praise you, but you haven't done anything yet. You're playing well. You're getting yourselves big results against big teams and scoring big and all that good stuff. But until you actually go over the line, I think that's what a lot of people say. I can't really give you your flowers that you probably will end up deserving because you haven't deserved them just yet. But that's my opinion. Not a bad team. It's not a dig at them. I just think, until you actually do it, no one's going to look at you as be like, yes, that's the team, right? And then finally, the team in fourth place, only because they're in fourth place at the moment. I don't say only because, but they are. And then it's Tottenham Hotspur. And as you can see, having a decent spell in the league, but still not having won anything major. Obviously finishing second in that season when Leicester won the league. And then they also had a third year finish before that. Another third, fourth, sixth, seventh, fourth, eighth last year was a catastrophe. Currently in fourth again under Ange Postecoglou. Again, another manager in his first season. They lost, with Spurs that is, in the Premier League. Yeah, managing at Celtic. Yeah, the J League before that with Yokohama. Before that for the Australian national team, the Socceroos, winning the Asian Cup in 2015, having won the Scottish Cup and also the J League as well. So he has won things. It's just like, well, he's coming from a league, like, who gives a shit where he's coming from? I want proven European pedigree or something. It's like, not every team can have that, unfortunately. So it sucks, but it is what it is. But currently in fourth, losing their star player Harry Kane to Bayern Munich, just referenced them a moment ago. New players in as well, trying to adapt and find their feet, like your Van de Vens, your Udogis. They've been pretty well. Vicario's been a great goalkeeper for him as well. Can't argue against that. Richarlison's found form. Sonner's been in fine form as well. Maddison being bought from Leicester, so not a bad bargain for them to be picking him up for the price they picked him up for. But they had a very strong run early on, and I think their fans got a little bit too gassed, saying things like, we're going to win the league, everyone else is rubbish, Ange Postecoglou, sign him up for life, and all this other nonsense. It's like, bro, just lay off the helium, yeah? You're too high up in the sky, just calm down. But they had a few key players out, and then they had a bad run of form. It went from first and dropped into sixth and fifth and fourth, where they are at the moment now. So they're sort of finding their balance at the moment. But the Spurs fans will say that they're not in a title race, whether they want to admit it or not. I mean, they're in fourth place at the moment. They're not exactly far off when it comes to the other teams are above them. They do need some results to go in their favor, but all they need to do is just keep winning their games. And I'll get to these teams winning all their games, because it's not possible, because they have to play one another. But when Tottenham are at it, they can be dangerous with their playing style, and they could be the team that takes points off some of the others. But then again, every other team could take points off each other as well. Now, I don't normally do this, share my notes, but it's just easier for me to speak about it, right? So, the title race. How do you stay in the title race? How do you be a contender and look up to stay top or take top spot? And what factors will be at play here? Is my thoughts and opinions, yeah? But first and foremost, staying close to the leaders. So you stay within 3-6 points of the team coming first, you're in with a chance. Winning all your games and keeping pace, that's what you got to do. It's just standard facts. Winning your everyday matches. When I say everyday matches, that's like just winning your normal games at home. Liverpool play Bournemouth, they have to beat Bournemouth. Liverpool go away to Luton, they have to beat Luton, even though we didn't, we drew. But you get what I'm trying to say. You have to win your everyday games. Win your home games, take points away from home. You're going to play the bigger teams. It's inevitable. Not everybody is going to take all points away from their title rivals, which we'll get to shortly, as you can see there, because it says taking points of one another. And this is what you have to do if you want to be a Premier League winner. You have to take points off each other. We've already seen Arsenal take points off Liverpool. We've seen Arsenal take points off City. We've seen Chelsea and Arsenal play out draws. We've seen Chelsea and City play out draws. We've seen Spurs and Liverpool with an absolute robbery at White Hart Lane because of the officials, not because of Spurs. The officials were dog shit, okay? We've also seen, what was the other one? Chelsea annihilate Spurs. A very poor Chelsea team taking the piss out of Spurs at White Hart Lane. So, anyways, Spurs still have to play City and Arsenal at home and then Liverpool the following week after, or 3 weeks, one after the other, right? Not a good time for Spurs, but you never know what's going to happen there. But Spurs cannot win all those games, or can they? Can City beat Spurs? Can Arsenal beat Spurs? Can Spurs beat Liverpool at Anfield? These are the questions we will find out. But then City have to host Arsenal. Arsenal got pumped last year at Old Trafford at the Etihad. So we're going to have to wait and see now how Arsenal respond, because they beat them 1-0 already at the Emirates. Now they go to the other Arab-owned stadium, or Arab-sponsored stadium, I should say, Emirates Etihad. See what they can do there. But then Arsenal will also host Chelsea. Now, Chelsea are probably not in the best vein of form at the moment, but they're still Chelsea. I mean, we've seen them go toe-to-toe with City. They absolutely got bummed by Liverpool. It is what it is. We've got to play them in a cup final as well in a couple of weeks' time. And, they drew with Arsenal. They pumped Spurs, even though Spurs had, 2 players off. Still, not an easy game, right? Not an easy game. But then Liverpool have to take on City at Anfield, and then we have to go away to Old Trafford. And again, Arsenal. United, you don't know what you're going to get with them. They can be dog shit, and then McTominay pops up with the late winner. They can be dog shit, and they concede 2 goals in 5 minutes, and then Kobe Mainoo scores a winner. These things happen in football. It's a shit go, but it is what it is, and that's just something that we have to deal with when it comes to. And every team cannot win all their games, so someone will drop points against somebody else. Now, starting 11 strength, that's also big as well. Your starting 11 is key. You need a big starting 11 in order for you to do anything in the games itself. But then who has the better 11? Are they always available? Yeah, they say availability is the best ability. If you got all the skill in the world, but you're injured and you're never available, you're no good to the team. Yeah, you can do the whole morale and all that sort of stuff. Ultimately, you're no good to the team. Like Thiago for Liverpool. Great player, technical, fantastic, all that sort of stuff. Never available. He's no use on the bench or in the sidelines in the treatment room when we should be having him on the pitch. Something like Arsenal with Thomas Partey. They rave on about Partey, like, man, Partey and Rice, that's the midfield to go to. Partey is never fit. So what are you supposed to do in that instance? You can't do much when a player is injured. The bench strength. Who has a better bench? Arsenal fans will say our bench is rubbish. Some will say the bench is not too bad. City fans have the best bench for me, in my opinion. They have a fantastic bench. Liverpool, we have a good bench. Not the best, but it's a good bench. We've seen players come in, subbed on, and done a fantastic job for us, or played for us when they needed to, for players that were injured or suspended. And it's a good thing to have because you've got experience with the squad. You know what to expect. We've seen Gomez kill it at left back. We've seen Curtis Jones play in the midfield. We've seen Bradley take over at right back. We've seen Elliott come on at halftime against Burnley and run the show. We have seen these things. These things are legitimate. We've also seen for City, De Bruyne coming in off the bench. We've seen Haaland out and they're still scoring goals because Foden is scoring or Oscar Bob is banging some goals in. So they do have players. Alvarez will get himself a goal here and there. Players will score goals off the bench. That's what you want from a bench. You want bench players to affect and change the game. And also, it's, who's got better subs, who's got the experience, who's more effective. Injuries and suspensions, as I mentioned, that will also play a part as well. Who's available, who isn't. That's going to determine, a lot of your starting 11, which literally is. If your player's not available, who am I playing in place? At the moment, Liverpool have no Salah. Who are we playing in place? We're putting Diaz on the right wing. I have no idea why. We're playing Gakpo on the right wing. I have no idea why. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Or you play Jota on the right and you play Darwin down the middle and Diaz on the left. Anyways, Salah will be back. That's the main thing. Salah's back very, very soon. Very good news there. The managers and the coaching staff, of course. We've seen Arsenal fans complain and bitch and moan about Arteta. We've seen United fans bitch and moan, complain about Ten Hag. Don't even get me started on Pochettino with Chelsea fans. Fuck me. But a manager is key. Who's got the better tactics for the game? Who can make the right subs and bring the right players on when they need to be? Who can make the in-game adjustments that are needed? Who can be the better player manager overall? Because if you're not managing your squad well, you're not managing your players well, players get disgruntled, forcing them to do things, work a little bit too excessively, get injuries and all that sort of shit, right? Not ideal. It's not ideal at all. The in-game adjustments, player management, you get what I'm trying to say. And then the comparisons between players and managers. This isn't really how you win a league. It's just a bit of a pet peeve of mine. Comparing players and managers and wanting adoration. Arsenal fans have been guilty of this recently because, oh, look, we beat Liverpool 3-1. Oh, but we beat West Ham 6-0. Oh, but I get it. Big results. A lot of people said, beating Liverpool, that's big. Fair enough. We were crap. You deserve the win. Beat West Ham, though. Back it up. They didn't just beat them, smacked them. They smacked their bitch up 6-0 after they beat them twice already this season. I think it was in the league and in the FA Cup. FA Cup or League Cup, FA Cup or League Cup, whatever it was, one of the other. I think it was the FA Cup. Anyways, beat them. Was it League Cup? Maybe. I don't fucking know. We beat Arsenal in the FA Cup. Or let's be League Cup. Anyways, whatever. Forget what I said. They need to have their flowers given to them. Yes, I get it. But you ain't also done anything either to really deserve your flowers. Now, some will say, well, Liverpool are just fantastic. They're first. They're not playing well, but they're still getting the results. Yeah, good on them. Whereas Arsenal will play well and get the result and say, yeah, but I get it. It's frustrating. But stop trying to be comparing yourselves to everybody else. Just focus on your team, do the things you do, and the things will just happen naturally for you. You're trying to force something. It's like, look at me, mummy, look at me, daddy, look at what I can do. You're like the youngest child when the middle and eldest child get all the attention, and the youngest child is trying to do the same things that everyone else is, but no one just gives a fuck about them because everyone else is already doing it or they've already done it. It's a shit go. I get it. Focus on yourselves. I'm sure the proper plaudits and all that sort of stuff will come as well. And as I say here, it's like, yeah, my player is better than your player. Every time you mention a rival mentions a player, oh, but this player who's from my team is better than, oh, keep my player's name out your mouth and all this other shit, right? Frustrating as fuck. And you must respect us, as I said. And that's pretty much all I've got for this. I mean, there ain't anything else really to it. It's a bit of a longer video. It's just some thoughts I had in my head. I wanted to get them out there, put them on a in video and audio format and hear my opinion, and you can agree or disagree. That's fine. That's why the comments are down below. The comments are there for you to agree or disagree or give me your opinion. Now with this, I will finalize this video by putting in a clip as I did last one. Last one was Northside's video from This Is Football. Shout out to Hassam and the boys there from El Ahwa. And it was Ziad, the Chelsea fan, arguing with Staffy, the Manchester United fan, where Ziad is saying, I know you hate Ten Hag. I know your manager's dog shit, but really you need to be happy with the win because you're still winning games. And Staffy is not happy because the bigger picture is Ten Hag stays in and I don't want him to stay in. McTominay's saving this guy's job. Ziad says, okay, but you can still celebrate the goal and hate the player. And then Ziad says, don't tell me how I should be celebrating or what I should be doing. Do not tell me what I should be happy and not happy with. But then he flips back to when Staffy said to Ziad, you should be happy that you were in a cup final, even though you were in 11th or 10th at the time for Chelsea. Obviously being against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final in a couple of weeks' time. So Staffy says, you should be happy with a cup final because you said a manager is to be winning a cup final. But then when Ziad says to Staffy, you should be happy because your team is winning, even though it's not the player you want, Staffy then pipes back and he says, don't tell me how to think and what to like and not like. And just final thought here, a word to the YouTubers out there, football YouTubers and all that sort of stuff. And it's a bit rich coming from some dude who's doing the exact thing that I'm going to be complaining about, right? But giving your opinion in front of a camera, in front of a microphone, it takes guts, it takes courage to put your opinions out there. I've seen a lot of new videos pop up. They get 10 views, 50 views, 100 views. It's not easy. It's a very saturated market. I get it. It's a struggle for everybody. Sometimes you get lucky, strike gold. Other times you may have to do something with a little bit more shine to it, be a little bit different, right? Sometimes just your personality, your content speaks for itself. Anyways, just because you put a video out there with your face on it and your voice does not mean you are 100% going to be correct on a matter or that people are going to agree with you. That's what the comment section is for. It's for people to disagree with you or agree with you. It can go either way. They can do a video response. Someone could clip something I've said here and say, I disagree with this Aussie because blah, blah, blah. As long as they're not being dicks about it, that's fair enough. I saw a comment in, I think it was a Staffy video, and some dude saying like, man, like why are the Arsenal fans here? They're so delusional or something like that. You need better Arsenal representation. And then Staffy responded by saying, luckily no one cares about your opinion. And I'm thinking, bro just gave his opinion and you're telling him no one cares about his opinion. And it's a bit rich coming from somebody who says no one cares about your opinion when he's trying to tell you what he thinks because he cares about his opinion. And this is all this is. It's an opinion-based business, let's just call it. I give my opinion, you give your opinion in agreement or in disagreement, right? You may think completely different, say, well, yes, but no, or no, however. That's how these things should work. Conversations. This is all opinion based. And it's like you can have opinions that end up wrong. You can have opinions that are a bit far-fetched, over the top, not always going to be the flavor of the month or what people are expecting. So long as you know that just because you have a channel, you have X amount of subs, you get X amount of views, it doesn't mean that you are correct or people value what you say. A lot of people may look at you and watch your content because they think you're a clown and you're funny to watch and all that sort of shit. Some people, I know, they'll watch Lee Gunner because they want to see him rage and complain. Not everyone really likes his stuff, but they like seeing when AFTV melt down. They like seeing when Goldbridge rages. Eventually they may come to like him, for example. But just because you put an opinion out there doesn't mean people will agree with it. And if someone disagrees, that doesn't mean you have to discount their opinion because you don't like it. A lot of people don't like your opinions, which is why they disagree in the comments. And for you to have the audacity to say no one cares about your opinion, it's a bit fucking rich coming from somebody who's giving their opinions to the public. And that's where I'm going to leave this video.